Okay, so hey there guys. So today's video is going to be my March favorites. I actually just got home from work and I'm just sitting down and filming this video because I was going to film it either tomorrow or Tuesday, but I kind of really wanted to film in the makeup I was wearing because I am wearing quite a bit of these products on my face today, so I really wanted to talk about these products in my favorites. So we have a lot of new products to talk about this month. I didn't really want to talk about old favorites. I just wanted to concentrate on newer products that I've been using like all the time and I just can't get enough of, and I've just been using all this stuff constantly since I've gotten it, and I'm like finding some really amazing stuff. So we're going to talk about foundations first because I have 3 foundations that I really did fall in love with this month. But yeah, I would have filmed it a little bit later, but I have so many videos to post and I just want to get this video up so I can share with you guys my other thoughts on other products that I have tried recently, and I'm just so excited to share with you guys all of the products. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. Let's stop talking. I always talk for way too long, so let's talk about these products. So yeah, so let's get into the foundations first. So the first foundation that I think a lot of people have been loving lately, and honestly, this foundation is so good. I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about any of these foundations in my last favorites video, but even if I did, I wanted to talk about it again. So this is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation, and this one is in the shade, what shade am I? 405 Porcelain. This foundation is so good, you guys. I think it's almost a dupe for my Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear, but I still love my Lancome more than this one. I noticed that this one, it looks so stunning on the skin when you first put it on. It's super weightless on the skin, beautiful coverage, but I do notice that it does not last on my skin all day, no matter what concealer or primer that I use. That would probably be the only downfall, is that I don't feel like it lasts as long as my skin as other people. I don't really know the reason why that is, but it is a beautiful foundation, though. Maybe I just need to test it out a little bit more, but I've probably worn this foundation the most out of all these foundations that I'm going to talk about. I've worn this at least 6 or 7 times since I've gotten it, because I did get a lot of foundations recently, and this one I've definitely worn the most because I love it for like all day wear. I wore it on Friday night and I was out for a while. I was out from like 4 o'clock till like 12 o'clock at night, and I noticed when I got home that I think it was where I put my concealer on. It looked like it was very dry and kind of like wore off in those places. So maybe that's why. It might just be where my concealer is. But I love this. It's so beautiful on the skin, and a lot of people are talking about it for a reason. It's just a beautiful foundation, and I think that it has such beautiful coverage. It's just really, really beautiful on the skin. I can't say it enough. It is a little bit scented though, just be aware of that, but the shade is perfect for me. It's such a good match for my skin, and I've been wearing it so much. This has been like my go-to full coverage foundation. I haven't really worn any other full coverage foundation this month. Maybe the only other one has been my Lancome, but since I got this towards the beginning of the month, I really wanted to wear it every time that I wore makeup for a long time, because I really don't wear my makeup as long as I used to now. Probably only like 2 times a week is when I'm keeping my makeup on for a while. But most of the time I like something a little bit more lightweight now. Also because since it's getting warmer now, I don't typically go for full coverage foundations, but this is beautiful. This is so weightless on the skin, you'll barely feel it. And it really is gorgeous. So, love that, guy. So, the second one I want to talk about is actually the one that I'm wearing on my face today. Now, this one I discovered because, I mean, I knew about this foundation and I was kind of interested in it, but I wasn't sure if I should try it because I wasn't sure, like, if people liked it or not. But I saw Stephanie Nicole talk about this in her 2018 favorites video. She finally had posted that a little bit ago. And she mentioned this as pretty much being her only drugstore foundation pick in that video. And this one is the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation with vitamins, Ensolzuli Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 20, and this is in the shade 705 Ivory. Now, with this foundation, so I am obsessed with this. It is so gorgeous on the skin, but the only thing is that the shade range is so horrible. Like, I don't know what it is about this specific foundation on why they didn't expand the shade range. Maybe it didn't do that well. I'm not really sure, but the fact that they only have 14 shades in the line and the fact that I can't even find a fairer shade than this one, like this is the lightest shade that they have. And this one is not a perfect match for my skin, but it's not like too tan. It does still work for me if I use like a lightening concealer. Like I used my ColourPop concealer today, and that's like one of the lightest concealers that I own. But this foundation is beautiful on the skin. It's just so, like, it has this, like, dewiness to it and this, like, silky smoothness to it. It's so beautiful. Like, it's dewy and smooth, and I love it. It kind of really reminds me of the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth, but just, like, even less, even more dewy than that. Like, this is just so gorgeous. I feel like this is going to be such a beautiful summer foundation for me. I feel like it'll just look so beautiful in the summertime because it gives you beautiful coverage, but it's not like heavy on the skin whatsoever. And it's not like full coverage. It just makes your skin look so gorgeous. Like, I can't believe how much I loved this foundation. I'm like, I usually always listen to her recommendations, and this foundation is beautiful. I just wish that they would have made more shades. It's just kind of weird to me that there's only 14 shades. Like, what are you doing, CoverGirl? Like, you know that you can't do that anymore. Like, brands know that they need to come out with more shades. But yeah, this is gorgeous. I love my CoverGirl 3-in-1 foundation as well. And this is the second my second foundation only my second foundation from CoverGirl, and I love this one too. So yeah, this one's gorgeous. I've definitely tried a ton more L'Oreal foundations. I've tried out about 4. This is like my 5th one I've tried. I think I might like the True Match a little bit more still though, but I think I really need to wear the True Match again. I think I wore it a week or 2 ago maybe, but I've mostly been grabbing for this one. If I grab for a L'Oreal foundation, it's been this one this month. So, because that was like the first full month that I had it. So that's it. Actually, we have one more foundation. So this is the only stick foundation I have to talk about. I would have mentioned the Wet n Wild stick foundation, but I don't know how I really feel about it now. I really loved it when I first tried it, and now, like, every time I wear it, I feel like it looks very dry on my skin. I think it might have been just because my skin wasn't doing very well like a week or 2 ago, and now my skin, I feel like, is getting used to my retinol and my vitamin C serum that I've been wearing, that I feel like my skin has been doing a lot better. But this foundation is beautiful. This is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick Broad Spectrum SPF 15 in the shade Opal 15. This is so nice on the skin. It's super hydrating. It really feels super hydrating on the skin, which is a huge bonus for me. It feels like a water-based stick foundation. I've never owned anything like that before, so I thought that this was so unique for me to try. And honestly, I have not tried a Bare Minerals foundation since I had the Bare Minerals serum foundation, like back in like 2015 or something. So when I tried this, I was kind of hesitant, but I heard about this because of Kathleen Lights. She recommended it on her channel, and she talked about it to Raw Beauty Christy when they were doing their Get Ready With Me, and this is so nice on the skin. Like, it's such a light coverage, but it looks so, again, dewy and fresh on the skin. I've been so into like dewy foundations. I mean, when am I not? I love dewy foundations, but this it's even lighter coverage than what I'm wearing. And it's just really easy to wear. This is such a lightweight stick foundation, and this is, like, honestly my lightest weight stick foundation that I own, and I actually think this is one of my favorite ones that I have. Honestly, I do prefer the Makeup Forever and this one over the ColourPop and the Wet n Wild. That's just how it is. But I do feel like the Wet n Wild and the ColourPop are more full coverage, and the Makeup Forever is just perfect coverage. I love that one, and this one is even lighter coverage than all of them, and this is just so nice on the skin. This is so nice for lighter makeup days, so I highly recommend this for someone that just doesn't like heavy foundation. This is really, really good, so I've been loving that as well. So that's it for foundation. Now let's move on to concealers. We have 2 concealers to talk about. So, as you guys know, or maybe you didn't know, I don't know, I did return the Makeup Forever concealer, and honestly, like, I haven't really been impressed by a high-end concealer in quite a while. I actually do really like the Kevyn Aucoin and the Jouer. I actually think those ones are both really good. I only like those ones, though, if I bake with them, because I notice if I don't bake with them, they do crease a lot easier on me. But these two, I don't really have to bake with, and I think that they look beautiful on the skin. So the first one is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop, Can I Speak? Contour Concealer. And this one is in the shade Fair. Yeah, just Fair. So this one I got recommended by XO Marley to try this. She talked about this constantly on her channel, and I really love it. It's a really good concealer. I wouldn't say it's like full coverage, but it blends out beautifully. It's so nice on the skin, and I really, really like it, so I've been enjoying this one a lot. This one I find is a lot less dry than the NYX HD concealer. I just always remember that one was always like really dry. This one's definitely a creamier consistency, and it covers beautifully. I really have been enjoying this quite a bit, so that one is awesome. And then the other concealer is another drugstore concealer, and this one is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Warm. I've only tried one other e.l.f. concealer, and it's like $1, and honestly, it's like the worst concealer I own. I only use that concealer when I need something to like touch up my lipstick, because honestly I hate it underneath my eyes, but it's $1, so I'm like, whatever, I'll just throw it in my purse. This concealer is really, really good. Honestly, like, it's very similar to the Tarte Shape Tape packaging or like the Jouer packaging, but I really like this. Honestly, I think it's just as good as the Jouer concealer. I don't love the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm not a Tarte Shape Tape person. I definitely love this a lot more than that. This one is a beautiful full coverage foundation concealer, so I would definitely recommend this if you need something that's more full coverage. So this one is really good as well. I forgot to grab one product. I feel like I'm going to forget something because I'm really talking about specific things that I've recently picked up, and I want to make sure that I remember to talk about everything. Okay. So there we go. All right, so that is it for like concealers and foundations. Now let's move on to, we're going to move on to eyeshadow palettes, because I have two eyeshadow palettes that I really, really want to talk about. So the first one is the Beauty Bakery Proof is in the Puddin' eyeshadow palette. So I picked this up probably a couple weeks back, and I have tried it quite a few times, and I think that these eyeshadows are really, really gorgeous. I think that they're really easy to blend. Super, super smooth, super creamy. The shimmers are gorgeous. The crease shades and mattes are so beautiful to blend, and I really have been enjoying this eyeshadow palette. I had never tried any eyeshadows from Beauty Bakery before, and I was kind of dying to try this palette. And I definitely was not disappointed. I think that this palette is really, really nice. You guys will see a first impressions video on this very, very soon. That's why I wanted to get up this favorites video, because I want to post those first impressions videos. But yeah, I'll swatch some of the shades for you guys. But these are just really buttery and just really, really beautiful. I really have been enjoying these. I'm trying to think of a formula that's kind of similar, because I feel like they remind me of another formula. I guess I would say maybe like Urban Decay or maybe like ColourPop, but I don't know. They're just so pretty. Look how beautiful those shimmers are. So this one is Rice Pudding, this one is Butterscotch, and this one is Chia Pudding. And then Spiced Caramel has been one of my favorite shades because, hello, it's the gold shade, and you guys know how much I love gold, so that one is the gold. They're just so pretty. Like, I have used all of the mattes, and I've used all the shimmers. Obviously, if I tell you guys what a favorites is, obviously I have to use all of the shades. And honestly, this is so good. I think this is such a good go-to everyday palette for someone. I think it has every single shade in here that you would need, that I don't think you need to go for another palette. Maybe only for a transition shade, but honestly, I've been using this Banana Puddin' or Nana Puddin', as a transition, and then the rest of them are just beautiful crease shades, and then you have a beautiful brow bone highlight, and you have some really pretty lid options. Like, I either will put I haven't put butterscotch on my lid yet. I've used that one as an inner corner highlight. I've used these two on the lid, and I've used almond jelly on the lid, and they're all beautiful. I think spiced caramel is my favorite. But yeah, they're really gorgeous, so I really have been enjoying this palette. So I really do enjoy the powder formula of Beauty Bakery. I definitely prefer it over their liquid lipsticks. And then the other eyeshadow palette, I'm kind of dying to talk about another one as well. But I feel like I have to try it out a little bit more before I actually mention or say that it's one of my favorites. So the other one that I've been dying to talk about is the Milani Pure Passion eyeshadow palette. This palette blew me out of the water. This palette is so good, you guys. And honestly, it's not a cheap palette for the drugstore. Like, I wouldn't say, like, go for this palette over the Beauty Bakery, because the Beauty Bakery is probably only like $10, $15 more. But obviously, if you don't want to worry about ordering something or worry about paying the extra money for it, I would go for this palette, because this one is a neutral palette as well. You can use this for really beautiful berry looks. You can use it for like more of a like reddish type look. You can go really neutral with these shades up here. I just think there's so many things you can do with this palette. And I think every single shade in here is amazing. Like, honestly, across the board, this palette and this palette have amazing eyeshadows in them. There is not one dud in either of these eyeshadow palettes, and that's a lot for me to say, because I have a ton of eyeshadow palettes, and I mean, I have quite a few palettes that I love every single shade, like, let's get real. But for the drugstore, this is definitely my favorite drugstore eyeshadow palette I've ever tried, because I really have not found a really, really amazing drugstore eyeshadow palette. I do really like the NYX one from the Happy Birthday from Ulta, but you can't even get that because it's a birthday palette. You can only get that from Ulta for your birthday. And I really loved the Wet n Wild Not a Basic Peach one, but I didn't like it the second time that I got it. This one I love. So the mattes are just so beautiful. They're so pigmented, and the shimmers are all stunning. They're all amazing. They all look so beautiful on the lid. So let me swatch a couple of the lighter shades. And then I'll swatch like one of the berries for you. Honestly, they might look a bit chalky on my hands, but look at those. They are so good. Look how pretty those are. And then I'll swatch just like a couple of the mattes, but these mattes do not play on how pigmented they are. Look at that. Aren't those so good? Clearly I've been using these two mattes the most because they have like the biggest dips in them, but look at those. They blend so beautifully. So the mattes are Totally Fawn of You and Spice It Up. That's top to bottom. So the first one is Totally Fawn of You and the other one Spice It Up. And then top to bottom, the first shade for the shimmers is Afterglow. Then we have Pink Sand, which is the middle one. And then the red one is is that Heat Is On? No, Biggest Flirt. I think the one that I swatched, no, never mind. Yeah, but look how gorgeous and stunning those are on my Gertch. I love them so much. I highly, highly, highly recommend this palette. Honestly, I was not going to pick up this palette. I kept on saying, I think in my no-buy that I wasn't going to get this. I'm not going to blind you guys by holding up the palette because it's mirrored packaging. So it's going to like, blind the shit out of you. But honestly, I was so impressed with this palette. It is so good, and I'm so happy that I got this. But I am done buying eyeshadow palettes now for basically like this whole year. But that really did blow me away with the quality. I think it's such a good palette. So I just want to wipe my hands a little bit because I am getting eyeshadow all over them. So that's pretty much it for eyeshadow. I didn't really have any single shadows because I didn't really get any single shadows until I got the Disney Villains one and the one from the Sweet Talk collection, which I have been testing the eyeshadow palette out, and I've used it a couple of times, but I'm not going to include it in this favorites video, but I'm just letting you guys know that I've been loving it. So but I haven't tested out every single shade yet, so I can't say it's an absolute favorite, but usually when it comes to ColourPop, I usually fall in love with their products anyway, especially their eyeshadows, so you'll probably see it in my next favorites video. Okay, so the next things that I wanted to talk about, we don't have too many products to talk about left. So, speaking of eyes, let's just talk about this guy really quick. So, I just wanted to mention one mascara. So, I've been using this mascara a ton since I've gotten it. I don't think I've gotten any other mascaras recently, and this one I've been reaching for a ton. So, this one is the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. I'm actually wearing it on my eyes today. I really love this mascara. It really is beautiful and lengthening. And it just does an amazing job at curling my lashes and making them really long and really beautiful. And I also really love this wand because it's actually really easy to coat the top and bottom lashes with this mascara because the wand is thin enough. And I've just been obsessed with this. It's so good. Like, you guys do not know how much I've been loving Thrive products because Thrive makes some freaking bomb products. So, yeah, I've been loving this guy. And then the other Thrive product that I wanted to talk about is this, and I'm so obsessed with this powder. This is the Thrive Cosmetics Filtered Effects Soft Focus HD Setting Powder, and this is the translucent matte powder. I mean, they only have one of these. It's only translucent. But you guys, this powder, like, look how much I've used of this. Look how much I've used of it already. Like, that's crazy. Like, I've used a ton. And I've only had this for a month. But I was using this every single day to set my under eyes and to set my face. It has this beautiful, like, blurring effect to your skin. It is so gorgeous. And it makes your skin so silky smooth. I've been obsessed with this powder. I haven't been using it to set my entire face lately. But I've been using it under my eyes. And it blurs my under eyes so beautifully. I love it. And I really love this on the face as well. It's not too matte. It just really is beautiful and weightless on the skin. And it has this amazing effect to, like, blur your skin when you put your foundation on. It is so good. I love this. I'm so happy I tried this. There were so many other powders that I wanted to try. But I was like, no, I'm just going to get this one. And I'm so happy I did because I was so interested in trying this. And it is so good. Like, Thrive, like, blew me out of the water. Speaking of Thrive, I did want to speak about one more bronzer. I'm going to speak about two bronzers right now, and then we'll get into blushes after that. So the first bronzer I wanted to talk about is the Thrive Cosmetics Sun Chaser Blur and Sculpt Bronzing Powder, and this one is in the shade Raya. This is the one I'm actually wearing on my face today, and this is so good. Like, honestly, the Thrive products really did blow me out of the water. Their powders are so silky smooth, and this is just such a good bronzer. It is just so easy to apply, and these powders are so silky smooth, so buttery, so soft. I'm literally obsessed with this bronzer. I've used this a ton since I've gotten it. I've used it almost every day this whole month. I've definitely been more impressed with this bronzer than, like, Benefit's Hoola or the Clinique one, or I feel like there was another oh yeah, I love the Smashbox one, don't get me wrong, but this one has definitely been my other favorite, so I love this bronzer. And then the other one is the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in the shade in the shade Ticket to Brazil. This necklace really bothers me. So this one is the Ticket to Brazil bronzer. And this one is a little not as pigmented as the Thrive one, but I really have been loving this one as well. This one is definitely a lot more sheer than the Thrive one, as you can see. But I really like how sheer it is because it gives this like really pretty, like, subtle bronze to your skin. And if you guys know me, I really like very subtle bronzers. That's why I love my Milani one so much. This kind of reminds me of that. And I think that this one, again, is going to be such a beautiful summer bronzer because I really love how light it is. And I really like these light type of bronzers for like really light makeup days, for like just concealer, a little bit of highlight, some mascara, and some lipstick. And I love those looks in the summertime, and just putting a little bit of this on, it just looks so pretty. So when I do like no makeup looks, I feel like that this is going to be one of my go-to bronzers this summer. Alright, so that's it for bronzers. Now we're going to talk about a couple of blushes. I feel like I picked up a lot more blushes than I'm actually talking about, but I guess it didn't necessarily mean that I loved every single blush that I got. Let me just check super quick. I know that I'm so ghetto when I do this, but I just really want to check to make sure that I'm not missing any blushes. But I could have sworn I got more, but I guess I only got around like 6. Because it doesn't really look like I want to talk about any other ones. Oh my gosh. I would have kicked myself if I forgot this one. Oh my god. I think I did not mention these in my last favorites video. So if I didn't talk about this one, I would have kicked myself. So yeah, the first one I have to talk about is the Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush in the shade Seychelles. Caitlin, if you forgot this, you would have been pissed. So this one is the Buxom blush, and this is such a good everyday blush, you guys, but this does not play with the pigment. Like, look how pigmented that is. You barely need any product, and it is so easy to apply. I'm getting cold, you guys. I need to turn on my space heater. It's like really cold in here. So this one is the Buxom blush. And this is so pretty on the cheeks, you guys. This is such a beautiful everyday blush. When I got this in the beginning of the month, I was using this almost every single day. It is such a beautiful like neutral blush that goes with like any look. And it's definitely like one of my go-to blushes besides like my NARS Madly, which you guys know is like one of my favorites for that. But this one goes with anything, and the formula is so good. It's so pigmented. Just as good as my NARS Madly. Yeah, I would have kicked myself if I forgot that. So the next blush I wanted to talk about is the one I'm wearing on my cheeks today. And this is actually only the second time that I put this blush on, which I'm kind of kicking myself for. But I love the formula of these blushes, and I really wanted to pick up another shade. And the one that I got was the Flower Pots Powder Blush in the shade Sweet Pea. You guys know how much I love the shade Peach Primrose. So this one is Sweet Pea, and I love this one just as much as the other one. This one has such a beautiful formula. Like, these are such beautifully pigmented blushes, and they last such a long time on your skin. Look how pretty that color is. And this one is like a pinky mauve shade. And I love this shade. It's just so pretty. And I've been loving this. And I think this is going to be such a pretty spring blush. And I feel like I'm going to use it a ton. So, and what's not spring enough when it's like flower packaging? It's like so pretty. I'm so impressed with these Flower Beauty blushes. They are so good. So I love that guy. And then the last blush I wanted to talk about, because honestly I wasn't really too impressed with the Lime Crime ones. So these three I really, really, really loved. So the last one I wanted to talk about is the Thrive Cosmetics Cosmo Power Multi-Dimensional Strobing Blush in the shade Rosy. And this is the Cosmo Powder Blush. Honestly, I used this quite a bit this past week. And I have used it a couple of times before that. And this is so pretty. So pretty. It just has this beautiful, like, sheeny type of color to it. It's like a pinky, sparkly pink. And the reason why it's sparkly is because it's a highlighting a highlighting type of blush. That's why it says multi-dimensional strobing blush. So it kind of has like a strobing effect to it. because when you apply it, it kind of is a little bit shimmery on your cheeks, but it's like looks highlighted. It doesn't look glittery whatsoever, and it's so stunning. I have been loving this. This is so beautiful and pigmented, and again, really love the Thrive products. All 4 products that I got, I loved. So Thrive was definitely a hit for me. So these products were so good. So yeah, just been loving the Thrive products. So that is it for blushes. Now I wanted to talk about, of course, my favorite subject, highlighters. So let's get into some highlighters. So I have a few to talk about because I did purchase a couple this month. Not too many. So the first one is the NARS Fort de France highlighter, and this one is the NARS highlighter. And this is probably the most expensive one out of the 4. But this one is so pretty, you guys. This is honestly one of my favorite NARS highlighters I've ever tried. And it's just such a beautiful, like, sheeny type of highlighter. Honestly, I might even love this more than the Banque de Sable. So this one is the Fort de France highlight, and honestly, it doesn't look like anything on your face. I mean, on your face. On your hands. But once you apply it to your face, it's so pretty. I feel like this is going to be so pretty the next time I apply it. So lately, my highlight has not been, like, blinding, and I was, like, wondering what the hell I was doing wrong because every time that I was applying my highlight, it just wouldn't apply properly, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So I recently watched, like, this Nikkie Tutorials video, and she wasn't even, like, telling you how to apply your highlight properly. She was just saying in her Alphabet Makeup Challenge video that when you apply highlight to wet skin and you don't set that part of your face, or she hadn't set her face with powder yet, the highlight will apply like it's wet. So I did that, and I tried that yesterday and today, and I'm like, girl, what have I been missing? Like, this took my highlight game to, like, a whole nother level. So now I'm so excited to try, like, all my highlighters like that. So I'm so excited to try this highlighter again like that, but I do really love this highlighter. But the last time I used it, it just did not apply the way that I wanted it to, and I was just so mad, so I had to, like, go over it with something else. But now, if I apply it the way that she said, I feel like it's going to show up a lot better, because with this highlighter and the highlighter I used yesterday, it definitely looked so much better. So thank you, girl. But yeah, this highlight is really, really beautiful. This is probably, like, the most subtle out of the 4 I'm going to show you guys, but this one is really, really pretty. Then the next one is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Bloom Time. I've only used this one probably like 2 or 3 times. I've only used it once on its own and a couple of times mixed with other highlights. But yesterday I finally wore it by itself. And I did what Nikkie Tutorials said, and it looked so stunning. I tried to use it the night before that for my highlight, and it was not applying the way that I wanted it to. I had to go over it with Wet n Wild's Blossom Glow, but once I did what she said in that video, it was so beautiful on my skin yesterday. I'm like, I don't know what I've been missing. So this one is Bloom Time, and this one is a gorgeous rose gold highlight. It is so pretty. I honestly wasn't going to pick up any more of these Mega Glow highlights, but Kathleen Lights did mention this in one of her favorites videos, and it just looks so beautiful for the springtime. I'm like, I kind of need that, and it really is so pretty. So definitely been loving this one as well, and I can't wait to wear it more. I'm probably going to wear it a ton this month for spring. Then the next one actually really surprised me on how much I ended up loving this highlighter. But this one is from Benefit. This is the Benefit Cheek Leaders Mini Bronze Squad by Benefit. This is the Highlight, Contour, and Bronze Palette. And I'm mentioning this in my favorites video, and Jaclyn Hill mentioned this in her favorites video as well. And I kind of fell in love with the highlight when I saw her wearing it in her video. And I swatched it in store, and I was like, holy crap, it is so beautiful. I'm not going to be talking about the 2 other products in this palette, because honestly, this is what makes this palette worth it. This is the shade Cookie. This is so stunning. This is stunning. Look at this. Look how blinding that is. Did I wipe the wet? I keep on trying not to wipe off my highlight that I had just swatched. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that blinding? Like, that's not even the light. That is, when it hits the light, it is blinding. That is so pretty. I feel like this is so gorgeous for lighter skin tones. I feel like I need to swatch that Wet n Wild one again. Because I feel like this Benefit one is just so intense. So we have the Benefit one here, and this one is Wet n Wild. So pretty. Look how pretty those two are. But the Cookie one just looks wet on your skin. Honestly, this one I don't have to work so hard to get it to look like stunning on my skin. I can apply this over anything, and this is so intense. I feel like because the formula like basically feels wet, that it just applies gorgeously. So I've been loving this highlighter. I've worn this like 3 times, and it's so pretty on the skin. So definitely going to be wearing that a ton more this month as well, or this coming month. And then the last highlighter I have to talk about, I guess I am kind of cheating about this one because I just wore it for the first time today, but I have swatched it a couple of times. But I am wearing it on my face today, and I would be lying if I didn't freaking love it because I already kind of fell in love with it. I don't know if this is cheating. I'm sorry if this is cheating, but I'm going to mention it anyway because as I look at it on my face, I think it's so stunning. I feel like it's definitely more intense on this side than this side. I feel like because the light is hitting this side a lot more. But anyway, this is the Disney Villains Maleficent Super Shock Highlighter by ColourPop. And this one is the shade Mistress of All Evil. This is pretty much the only thing that I've tried from the Villains collection so far because I've been trying the other things from the spring collection first before I've tried all the stuff from the Villains collections. But this is stunning. And this is a Super Shock highlighter. So it does apply nicely with a brush, but I actually kind of recommend going over it, or at least just initially going in with your finger, because since it's a Super Shock highlighter, I guess they didn't really stress that this is basically a pressed version of their Super Shock highlighters, which I kind of noticed when I was looking at the packaging. I'm like, oh, this is a Super Shock highlighter. So I guess that means it's really similar to their Super Shock shadows, but like a pressed kind of version. So this one is the Maleficent highlight. This is Mistress of All Evil. Look how pretty. Oh my god, my hand is blinding with highlights. I swear, when I swatched that Wet n Wild one again, it kind of faded on my hand. It doesn't really last that long on the hand, but these two are blinding. So that one is Cookie, and that one is Mistress of All Evil. Tell me those aren't blinding. Like, I thought that those two were so similar, but the Maleficent one has more glitter in it than the Benefit one, and this is so stunning. So what I did initially is that I did apply it first with a brush, but then I did go in a little bit with my finger. Let me just intensify it on this side a little bit more. And look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Oh my gosh. It looks like wet on my skin. Oh my god. I feel like this is going to be like one of my favorite summer highlights because it looks so wet on the skin. That is ridiculous. Isn't that so pretty? So I think that they should have touched on that a little bit more when they were talking about this, like in the swatch video, that they're very similar to the Super Shock shadows. Like, basically it's a pressed version of what's in here. Like, they also have a Super Shock pressed eyeshadow in this palette, and I think that's actually the one I'm wearing on my lid today. That is the shade Side to Side, and that is a pressed Super Shock shadow. So it basically performs like their single eyeshadows. That's what made ColourPop famous. So this is basically the same thing. So I highly suggest you apply it with your finger because I think it makes it a hell of a lot more intense than using a brush. You can initially lay it down with a brush to like help you place the highlight a little bit better, because I find that if I just go in with my fingers sometimes it can look a little bit weird. But if I go in with a brush first, then it looks really beautifully intense when you press it in with your finger after that. That is so flipping stunning. Oh my god, that is so pretty. So yeah, again, sorry if I'm cheating by mentioning this now, but I could not help it. This is so beautiful. I pretty much know after the first time I wear a highlighter whether I love it or not, and I've been wearing this all day and I can tell you guys that I love it. So that is it for highlights. Now we just have 3 lip products to talk about, and that's pretty much it. Because, oh, we do have 1 lip liner. So the only lip liner that I'm going to mention is from Lime Crime. And this one is the Lime Crime Velveteen's lip liner in the shade Angel. And this one I just recently ordered from their website. And this is such a good lip liner, you guys. It's so good. This is the only lip liner that I've been using with my nude lipsticks. And it's so good. Like, I'm obsessed. So, I can't really say anything else, but it's super creamy. I couldn't expect anything less from Lime Crime. And speaking of Lime Crime, I just want to mention this really quickly, and then we'll mention the 2 lipsticks I want to talk about, because I don't want to bore you too long with talking about the same lipsticks in my collection, because honestly, I've picked up nothing else. These are like the only lipsticks that I've gotten. So, the first one, I'm obsessed with this lip gloss. This is so good, you guys. I have been wearing this every time I wear a lip gloss ever since I've gotten it. I haven't worn any other gloss. So this is the Lime Crime Wet Cherry Gloss in the shade Cherry Crush. Look how much I've used of this already. Look at that. I've used this like so much already. This is so good, you guys. So this kind of reminds me of the Fenty Beauty formula. It's kind of that thick consistency. The only thing that I would say about this is that I'm not obsessed with the cherry scent, because I'm not really a huge fan of cherry. But it makes your lips look so beautiful, like so luscious. Honestly, I haven't worn it the past 2 days. I've been resisting to top it off with the lipstick that I'm wearing, because I've literally worn this lipstick today and yesterday because I really wanted to wear it again today. And this gloss is just so beautiful. It really does make your lips look wet and juicy and beautiful, and I'm obsessed with this. I had never tried any glosses from Lime Crime, and I am obsessed. This is so good. So yeah, I'm obsessed with this. If you guys can find the lip kits at Marshall's, I would suggest picking up those so then you don't have to worry about ordering this, and then it's a hell of a lot less money. So, but I had already gotten it, like, ordered it like a week or 2 back, and then people were saying that they were finding the sets at Marshall's, and I was like, damn it. So, okay, so just 2 lipsticks, and that's pretty much it. So the first one is the Beauty Bakery Cake Pop Matte Lipstick, I believe it's called. Don't quote me on that, but this is the shade Bastini Ice. This lipstick is so pretty, you guys, and the formula is so good. It's such a beautiful nude lipstick. So that one is Bastini Ice. Look how pretty that is. The formula is so good on this. The only con, of course, is how tiny this is. I feel like I might actually use up this lipstick this year. Like, that's how much product you get. Like, I've only worn it twice, and I feel like you can only get like 6 or 7 uses out of this lipstick, because honestly, why is it so small? Why do you charge $14 for something this tiny? Like, it's such a good formula. Why wouldn't you just make it in a full size? Like, I want a full size lipstick for $14 or $16, not a little mini thing like this. But the formula is so good. So soft. It's like a soft matte lipstick. I really, really like this a lot. Definitely a great formula. So I definitely love these a hell of a lot more than their lip webs. So I don't understand why they just made it so tiny. It's just like kind of weird to me, but it's so good. So I do recommend those, but if you want to spend the money on them. And then the last lipstick I have to talk about, I haven't tried the other shade that I ordered, the Disney Villains one in Hades, but I have tried this one twice already and I'm already obsessed with it. So this one is the ColourPop Luxe Lipstick in the shade Spring Roll, and this is part of the spring collection. And this is the one I'm wearing on my lips today, and I actually wore this yesterday as well, and I'm obsessed with it. You guys know how much I love the ColourPop Luxe formula anyway. It's basically one of my holy grail formulas besides MAC. And this one I knew wasn't going to be an exception. Like, I'm literally in love with this lipstick, and it's just such a pretty color. That one is Spring Roll right there. I feel like it's going to be one of my go-to lip colors for spring. Lip colors for spring. And yeah, it is so pretty. And I didn't really have to try it out for too long to know I was going to love it, because I love the ColourPop Luxe formula. So just to try out a new shade, I don't really have to test it out for another entire month to tell you guys that I love it, because I love it, and it's probably going to be in my April favorites as well. And then the last item I wanted to talk about was just a setting spray. So this is the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray in the dewy finish. I really like this stuff. I think it feels so good on my face when I set it. And I think that it makes my makeup last really long, and it makes your skin really beautiful, fresh, and dewy. I've been loving this, so don't really have anything else to say about that. And then my fragrance favorite, and I'm so happy that I got this guy. This is the Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet fragrance, and this is pretty much going to be my go-to fragrance for the spring. This is the only fragrance that I own right now in a full size, because I went through the Lancome one so quickly. As you guys can see, I pretty much have went through quite a bit of it already. But I've been wearing this every single day since I've gotten it. And I was so happy to get this in the Sephora, with my Sephora gift card. I've been loving this. It smells amazing. It's so florally, and I just am obsessed with the scent. And that is pretty much it, you guys. I think that is pretty much everything. I hope I'm not forgetting anything else, but I did go through my drawers one more time, and it didn't look like I forgot anything. I just really wanted to talk about all of the newer products that I had purchased recently, and I really wanted to tell you guys what my favorite ones were. So yeah, that is it, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. I love you guys. And I just threw on this sweat jacket right now to film this video, because I was actually wearing what I wore to work today. I actually wore the sweatshirt that I wore in my last favorites video, that I wasn't going to wear the same sweatshirt again in my favorites video. I'm like, I need to wear something else, so I just threw this Victoria's Secret sweat jacket on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So bye, guys. And please let me know what your March favorites were. I would love to know. Please let me know. I really would love to know. So bye, guys.